What is up guys, I do hope you're well on this mediocre day. Today we are back with some entitled parents. If you are new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe button, maybe even the notification bell, and join us on Discord. And for anyone that is still watching these, please, would you follow me on Twitter? I don't have any followers on there. I'm feeling kind of sad. Anyway, let's get straight into it. Give me your wedding ring because my daughter's boyfriend can't afford one right now. Hey guys, so I always thought the entitled parent thing would only really happen with young kids. Nope, that's not the case. Wife and I just went to a rodeo to see a concert and eat some food that we would inevitably regret later. Cardi B. Not a fan, but the wife is. Anyway, you have to take the bus to the actual rodeo because of the various parking places. Entitled parent, wife, and me, the sarcastic asshole. We're standing on the bus waiting for the stop to get off, and EP keeps staring at my wife's hand. My wife is way too nice and started a conversation. I won't go into the dialogue chat because, to be honest, I don't remember it word for word. However, it went something along like this. Wife and EP started talking. Wife initiated it because she felt uncomfortable with the staring from the lady, and eventually it got to the topic of my wife's wedding ring. We just got married in May. EP told my wife that she loves her ring, and then asked to see it. My wife looks at me for help, and I, being firmer in nature, say, "I'm sorry, but that's not appropriate. We don't know you." Basically the stuff anyone would say when a random ass person asks to see your wedding ring. Keep in mind, my wife still has it on her finger when EP FaceTimes their daughter and asks if she likes the set. The daughter says yeah, it's cute, and the mum basically does a "okay, thanks, bye," and hangs up the phone. This I do remember word for word, because I'm pretty sure my eyebrows hit the ceiling. Give me your wedding ring because my daughter's boyfriend wants to propose but can't afford one. I look at her and I swear I laughed for a solid 10 seconds before I realised she was serious. My wife was looking at me like, "Who is this bitch?" And I was just overall surprised by the woman. I kid you not, this woman reached over and grabbed my wife's hand. My wife made a fist so she couldn't get the ring, and I pushed the woman's hand off my wife and told her that was enough. She started to scream and people were staring at my wife. But my wife told the people what was going on, and they turned around. No one thought to help. Anyway, the woman persisted to try and get the ring some more, and she looked at us and said, "You obviously can afford it. I'm trying to make my baby's dreams come true," or some shit like that. I finally told her if she puts her hand on my wife again, she's going to catch attempted robbery charge as well as an assault charge. She moved through the bus, but not before I screamed that she's trying to steal things from people, so they should watch out. She made the bus driver stop somewhere random so she could get off. This was the weirdest shit that's ever happened to me. What? Someone just like randomly trying to take your wedding ring off your hand? Entitled parents, they're just freaking... They get worse every day. They're evolving. Or devolving, if that's such a thing. EM pulls fire alarm in a crowded indoor water park and hurls cake at security. Hello everyone, I worked for a few years at a front desk supervisor at a hotel attached to an indoor water park. I have lots of stories involving EPs, EKs and tons of crazies, but this entitled mum was one of the worst. I didn't deal with her personally, but I have to deal with her aftermath, and the head of security and the water park told me the whole story. TK stands for traumatized kid, WP stands for water park. It was the dead of winter, late February, and due to freezing cold, the indoor water park attracted lots of families. It was a packed Saturday, but after the check-in rush, the lobby was a ghost town. I was working the front desk alone, shooting the shit with the security guards when the call came over the radio from the water park. Our head of security, we'll call him Don, was a stocky bear of a guy, and the king of calm authority. He could look at a rowdy group and they'd stop cold, but he knew how to handle himself if they didn't. He calmly walked down to the hall to the water park, rookie security guard in tow, and I waited for them to come back with the story. They were gone less than 10 minutes, and the fire alarm starts blaring. I hear Ron yell over the radio that it was a false alarm, and to bring the shuttles around to pick up the water park guests, and my heart sank. It was past 10 PM, at least minus 10 degrees outside, and a whole bunch of soaking wet people must have had to walk out into the cold. Not to mention a horde of angry guests upstairs. Thankfully the alarm was diffused quickly and we caught most of the people leaving the lobby, and the shuttle circled the building to intercept any guests who went outside with warm blankets. After a bit, Don and the rookie returned. The rookie was splattered with cake and holding a bandage on his hand, and Don dives into the story. Entitled mum was holding her 8-year-old's birthday in the water park. Our catered birthday package included cake, pizza, and all-day water park passes for the party guests. EM took that as, "You can watch my kid," and spent the day harassing the lifeguards to bring her fresh towels and drinks, claiming too many seats for her friends and generally ignoring her daughter. The trouble really started around 10 PM because the restaurant and bar closed, and EM suddenly wanted to go home. She couldn't see her daughter, it was a large park. So EM started screaming and cussing loudly for her to get her out of the water. Lifeguards tried to quieten her down, but she angrily pushed past them, threatening her daughter. "TK, you better get out of the water. You have until the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Security arrived just as she shouted 3, walked calmly to the wall, and before they realised what she was doing, she pulled the fire alarm. "Now everyone has to get out because you didn't listen. This is your fault, TK." The lifeguards and security were stunned, but they quickly went after her, and she wobble ran back to the party balcony. "Get away from me! You were too lazy to get her out, so I had to." Mind you, she was wearing a swimsuit and could have easily gone in the park to get her child. The rookie starts going for her, and EM picks over the leftover cake from the party and hurls the tray at him and the lifeguards. When the rookie reeled back in surprise, she tackled him. Don managed to rip her off by the scruff of her neck and subdue her, but she managed to get a nasty bite on Rookie's hand. The police were called and EM was arrested for assault, and TK was taken home by her aunt. I spent the rest of the night calming down furious guests with frightened or freezing children, but it felt good to know EM was arrested. Let me know if you want more. I've got lots. Oh my goodness. It's just one of those ones where you feel sorry for the child. I mean, having to live with that as well. You can just imagine, because the line that really struck me was, "Now everyone has to get out because you didn't listen. It's your fault, TK." You can imagine what a home life would be like. I think it was her. But you can imagine what her home life would be like. It'd be absolutely devastating. Let's just hope she stays with her aunt more. I need to go ahead of you in line because I have a child. You know the drill here. EM entitled Mum, me, yours truly. As the title suggests, I was standing in the grocery store waiting. I was holding a box of Pop-Tarts and 3 tins of cat food. Priorities. I heard someone push their cart up behind me in line, and I moved up a couple more steps to give them room. The person behind me cleared their throat. I remained facing forwards because, well, why would I have turned around? The person behind me cleared their throat again. A far more fake sort of throat clear, so I turned my head to look at them and smile, not quite sure what was going on. "I need to get ahead of you in line." "I'm sorry? I need to go ahead of you in line." I then look at her cart, which is stacked, and then at the few things I'm holding in my hand, and hold them up a bit before replying. "I just have a few things. It'll be super quick. I have a child with me. If you haven't noticed, I need to go first." I look again, and there's a baby carrier in the front of the cart, and the child is fast asleep. Now if someone come up behind me in line with a screaming child they were trying their best to comfort, to no avail, I would have stepped out of line and let them go ahead of me without them having asked. No question. But to have some lady push up behind me with a sleeping child, a crammed cart full of food, and demand to go ahead of me because they have a child, I'm not so keen. So I shake my head. "No, I'm sorry. I've been waiting here for a bit and I'd like to get out. I only have a few things, so it will be quick." I turn back around and face towards the cashier, and the lady behind me starts huffing and scoffing, like she's just totally disgusted with me for being so selfish. She shifts her cart around, making pain noises like it was too much for her to bear with. And I start to feel uncomfortable, and like it wasn't worth the argument, and maybe I should just let her go ahead of me. Then the cashier catches my eye and gives me this kind of evil smile, and reaches over and hands me a "please use the next cash" sign, and asks me to put it behind my things when I set them down. She then calls over me to the disgruntled mum and tells her that she have to get into a different line because she was closing this till after me. Ian just lets loose the curse words and wheels the cart around enough that a bunch of stuff falls from the top. Her child predictably wakes up and starts crying while she's picking up her things. I'm guessing I looked rather bewildered because the cashier just laughed at me and said quietly, "I'm a mum with 3 kids. I hate it whenever mum use their kids like there's some sort of disability that entitles them special treatment." I leave rather happy that not every parent in the world is entitled. I like that the cashier got involved with the evilness of this plan. EM tries to steal my drawing tablet for her 6-year-old son. I really haven't posted on the EP subreddit, so I'm going to try and do this correctly. A quick description of what's going on is that I'm just a 13-year-old drawing on my tablet while waiting for my mum to pick me up. Just then, I start shading the foreground. A woman, EM, and a 6-year-old son, EC, walk up to me. Here's how it goes. Good evening. Oh, hello. That looks cool. Thank you. Can you teach my son to draw? I don't really do teachings. I'm not very good at it. Stop being so selfish. Mummy, I want to draw. Don't worry, you will get to draw. I said I don't. Thanks for understanding that my son wants to draw. Now let my son use your drawing pad. Me trying to stall while my mum is on her way. I will. Just let me finish this draw. Oh, don't even make excuses. She attempts to take it out of my hand, but fails. You're too old to be drawing doodles. Just give my son your drawing pad. He is 6 and needs it more than you. Mummy, can I keep it? Sure, honey. You will get the pad from that selfish whore. She attempts to take it again. Could you please knock it off? I just want to draw. If you don't give my son your drawing pad, you'll make him sad. And you don't want making a child cry on your conscience. No, but I own this tablet and I really enjoy it. By the way, I was on the verge of grabbing my pen and using it as a melee weapon. Mummy, why are you red? Writing the thing is mine, right? Yes, honey. EM turns to me. If you don't give me that right now. Just then I see my mum pull into the parking lot. Oh, sorry, my mother is here. I should leave. Stop ignoring me. I demand. I ignore everything she said as I put my tablet away. Bye. I got into the car, and when I had my seatbelt on, I told my mum to drive as I saw EM run to the car. I luckily never saw this woman again in my life. This could be an r/this that happened, but I don't know. You know, you just don't know with entitled parents anymore. I mean, it's like one of these typical entitled parent stories, like parent wants to take something, they say my child needs it more than you, then you basically run off in the end. But I don't know, it might be real, who knows. Anyway guys, as always, thank you so much for being here. You guys are amazing as always. I'd love to see your comments below, and I do read them all. It just takes me some time because we're getting a lot more comments these days, which I absolutely love. Some of you are hilarious. Thank you very much guys, take care, goodbye.